Jobless reincarnation. The OG isekai that promised us a journey of self-improvement, magic, and questionable life decisions. Remember when we all thought, wow, this is going to redefine isekai forever? Well, fast forward a couple of years and now we're thinking, wait, is this the same anime? What happened to the anime that once had us hooked like a cat on a laser pointer? Now let's address the elephant in the room, or rather, the creepy otaku reborn in a child's body. Rudeus was always a tough sell. Some called him bold and complex, others just called him gross. Love him or hate him though, he was the heart of the show. Watching him try to overcome his deeply flawed nature felt like cheering on a glitchy Roomba. Come on, buddy, you can do it, just maybe don't run over that line again. But then Season 2 arrived, and, well, let's just say the hype graph did something like this. So, what happened? Did the magic fizzle out? Did Studio Bind decide to bind us? To boredom? Season 2 took a bold turn, shifting from epic adventures to introspective arcs. It was like going from Lord of the Rings to The Hobbit: The Diary Entries edition. Look, I'm all for character development, but spending 5 episodes on Rudeus moping about Eris? That's not exactly peak entertainment. I mean, we get it, Rudeus, getting dumped hurts. But buddy, you've got magic, a harem of love interests, and a literal dragon god on your speed dial. Maybe go fight a monster or save a kingdom? No? Just more sulking? Cool. Fans were divided. On one hand, you had the hardcore defenders yelling, "It's a slow burn, you plebs just don't get art." And on the other hand, you had the casual viewers like, "Bro, I just want to see magic fights and Eris punching people." The tonal shift was as polarizing as pineapple on pizza, except this time both sides were equally furious. Meanwhile, the isekai market wasn't exactly waiting for Jobless reincarnation to get its act together. New contenders like Reincarnated as a Sword, and that time I got reincarnated as a vending machine, yes, that's a real thing, were stealing the spotlight. It's like Jobless reincarnation showed up late to a party it started, only to find out everyone moved on to TikTok trends. But let's not bury Rudeus just yet. The source material has some seriously juicy arcs coming up. You want betrayal? Epic battles? Emotional gut punches? It's all there. If Studio Bind can bring back the magic, and maybe, just maybe, speed things up a little, Jobless reincarnation could reclaim its throne as the king of isekai. So, is Jobless reincarnation down for the count? Or is it just catching its breath before a comeback that'll blow us all away? Whether you're here for the magic, the drama, or just to see what kind of weird moral dilemmas Rudeus gets into next, one thing's for sure, this anime still has plenty of story to tell. Jobless reincarnation. Season 2 is so slow, I swear I could have learned an entirely new language in the time it took for Rudeus to move past his breakup with Eris. We're talking 5 whole episodes of existential dread and teenage sulking. Yes, Rudeus, we get it, you're sad. But buddy, you've got magic, swords, and a literal teleportation problem to deal with. Maybe pick up the pace? Rudeus's emotional depth is what made him compelling in Season 1. But in Season 2, it feels like he's constantly stuck on emo mode. Instead of addressing his problems head-on, he spirals into self-pity. It's like watching someone refuse to reboot their Wi-Fi router, even though it's clearly not working. Sure, self-reflection is great, but can we also get a little action on the side? One of the best things about Jobless reincarnation was its rich ensemble cast. Eris's fiery personality, Sylphie's sweet determination, and even Ghislaine's no-nonsense badassery gave the show life. But in Season 2, everyone seems to have packed their bags and left Rudeus to cry alone. Sylphie gets a cameo, and Eris is off doing, well, anything else. The result? A lot of one-man brooding and not enough dynamic character interactions. Here's the thing. Being faithful to the source material is great, until it isn't. Season 2 slavishly follows the novels, but sometimes an adaptation needs to adapt. The slow, introspective chapters that worked in prose feel excruciatingly dull on screen. Studio Bind seems scared to cut anything, which is ironic because cutting some of this fluff could have made the anime much sharper. Yes, Studio Bind's animation is still stunning. The environments are breathtaking, the spell effects are gorgeous, and the character designs are on point. But great visuals can only carry a show so far. When the story slows to a crawl, even the prettiest backgrounds start to feel like wallpaper in a dentist's office. Nice to look at, but you're still bored out of your mind. Where's the drama, the tension, the stakes? Season 1 gave us epic battles, life and death struggles, and shocking twists. Season 2, on the other hand, feels like a slice-of-life anime masquerading as an epic fantasy. When the biggest conflict in an episode is, can Rudeus get over his depression? You know something's missing. Let's face it, the isekai genre is oversaturated. When you've got shows like Reincarnated as a Slime, Reincarnated as a Sword, and Reborn as a vending machine hogging the spotlight, even a titan like Jobless Reincarnation starts to feel like old news. The market is so crowded that being good isn't enough. You need to be exceptional. And right now, Jobless Reincarnation is just okay. Let's be real. Part of the problem is us, the fans. Season 1 set the bar so high that anything less than perfection feels like a letdown. We wanted epic battles, emotional growth, and jaw-dropping plot twists. Instead, we got Rudeus's therapy sessions. It's like ordering a steak and getting a salad. Sure, it's healthy, but it's not what you came for. Despite all this, there's still hope for Jobless Reincarnation. The story has plenty of room to recover, and future arcs promise more action, drama, and emotional payoffs. Studio Bind just needs to shake off the sophomore slump and remember what made fans fall in love with the series in the first place. Remember when Jobless Reincarnation had compelling antagonists? Yeah, me neither. The series teases us with threats like Orsted, the dragon god who's cool and all, but then immediately shelves him. Instead, we get random bandits, awkward social scenarios, and vague existential crises. Where's the big bad? At this point, even a filler-level villain with a dastardly laugh would do. Season 2 spends a lot of time banking on our love for Season 1, constantly reminding us of how great it was. Flashbacks to epic moments? Check. References to Eris's wild antics? Double check. But instead of building something new, it feels like the series is leaning on past glory to keep us invested. It's like a band that only plays their greatest hits because their new album flopped. Let's talk about Roxy. Beloved by fans, right? Well, in Season 2, she's off doing her own thing, and by her own thing, I mean wandering around and achieving absolutely nothing of consequence. Her storyline feels like filler in a show that's supposed to be laser-focused on Rudeus. Every time the screen cuts to her, you can almost hear viewers collectively sigh. Can we get back to the main plot already? Season 1 wasn't afraid to take risks, whether it was showing Rudeus's moral failings or diving headfirst into dangerous situations. But in Season 2, everything feels safe. The stakes are low, the characters are overly cautious, and even the moments that should be shocking are played down. The show needs to grow a backbone and take some bold narrative leaps. Look, we get it. Rudeus is lonely. But do we need to be reminded every 5 minutes? The sad boy routine worked for an episode or two, but by episode 5, you're begging for someone, anyone, to slap him out of it. Maybe bring Eris back just to yell at him? Heck, even a random monster attack would spice things up. The Jobless Reincarnation world is rich, vibrant, and full of potential that Season 2 completely ignores. Instead of exploring new cultures, diving into magical politics, or fleshing out the intricacies of the setting, the show focuses on sitting in inns and moping. You built this incredible sandbox and all we're doing is staring at it. What's the end game here? In Season 1, Rudeus had a mission: reunite with his family and survive. Season 2? It's basically, let's wander around and see what happens. Sure, he wants to find his mom, but the urgency is so low that even Rudeus doesn't seem to care half the time. A compelling story needs a strong goal, and this season feels like a road trip with no map. Where is Sylphie? Fans were excited to see more of her. After all, she's one of the main heroines, but instead she's barely a footnote. Imagine being one of the most important characters in the story and getting less screen time than Rudeus's depression. Justice for Sylphie. Season 1 had a perfect balance of drama and comedy. From Eris's fiery temper to Rudeus's pervy but funny inner monologue, the humor lightened the mood without feeling forced. Season 2? It's like they forgot how to laugh. The few jokes that do land feel awkward, like someone telling a knock-knock joke at a funeral. The soundtrack was a standout in Season 1, enhancing the emotional beats and epic moments, but in Season 2, it feels repetitive. It's like they took Season 1's playlist, shuffled it, and called it a day. Great music deserves better than to be background noise for Rudeus's brooding. Jobless Reincarnation was edgy, bold, and unafraid to challenge its audience. Now, it feels like it's trying to play nice. The moral dilemmas are toned down, the conflicts lack grit, and the overall tone feels sanitized. Where's the fire, the risk-taking? The show's lost the edge that made it unforgettable. Let's be honest, Jobless Reincarnation didn't just set the bar high, it launched it into orbit. Fans expected a masterpiece, and anything less feels like a betrayal. Season 2 isn't terrible, it's just average. And when you're coming off one of the most acclaimed isekai seasons ever, average isn't going to cut it. So, is Jobless Reincarnation truly terrible? Or is it just going through an awkward phase like a teenager with bad acne and braces? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Because unlike Rudeus, this channel is always ready to bounce back.